Hey guys, well today we have a very exciting trip ahead of us. We are still in Abu Dhabi and we came back to Qasr Al Watan, which is the presidential palace here in Abu Dhabi. We were here last night. We're just sitting on these chairs right there watching the night show. So you might have seen that in the earlier video, but we decided to come here during the day because then you can actually go inside the palace and see the beauty on the inside, but also see its gleaming beauty from the outside. And let me show you, because you'll see what I mean. Look at this, guys. Look at this masterpiece of architecture. It's a beautiful complex. You see, this is sort of the main court here, and then there's one of the entrances. That's the official entrance. So when dignitaries come here, they would drive through there up to here, as I'm assuming, all the way there, and then the car would pull up there, and the president of a nation visiting UAE would walk out. But just look at this. Look at this beautiful palace. Wow. It's made out of marble, so the light when you stand here is just, you know, blinding. But it doesn't glisten, so you don't get, you don't get blinded, but you get sort of mesmerized, bright white. And as you can see, there's ornaments on the domes in a very sort of Arabic, Islamic style. It's just fantastic. Wow. And you can see the archway kind of along the way here. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of this palace. And why is it here, and how does it sort of tie into the structure, political structure of UAE? Well, as I said before, UAE formed in 1972 because primarily the emir, like equivalent of a king of Abu Dhabi, joined with the emir of Dubai. They decided, well, we need to find ways to protect UAE because Britain was leaving this area. Britain used to be a protectorate of the coast of United Arab Emirates, but in 1969 they said, well, we're going to pull out of that agreement. So the Arab leaders had to find a way to defend themselves, and the way they decided to do that was through unification. So Emir of Abu Dhabi here and Dubai came together and said, okay, let's form a nation. And then 5 other emirates joined. And that's what you get today. United Arab Emirates, made out of 7 different emirates. But because the 2 emirs of Abu Dhabi and Dubai were the most powerful ones and the original founding members, they got the chance to keep the titles. So ever since then, the Emir of Abu Dhabi, where we are right now, will become the president of UAE. And then the Emir of Dubai will become the prime minister of UAE. And this is not something that you elect. This is hereditary. So this is where we are. We are in the presidential palace because the Emir of Abu Dhabi is always the president of UAE. So that's sort of the reasoning behind it. And this place right here, it was actually built in something like 4 or 5 years, so really quickly. This whole complex was finished in a record time. It was actually opened in 2017, so not so long ago, but it was closed to the public for a little bit. And then in 2019, 2 years after they opened it, the government of the Abu Dhabi decided to make this an open palace. And that is why, as you can see behind me, there's people shuffling in here all the time. It's a busy place. And you get a chance to go see inside and see everything that they built. But this is the presidential palace. It's an official place where the dignitaries get welcomed. So if, any president or any other official visit comes to Abu Dhabi, this is where they would meet. This is the meeting place. And the name itself, Qasr al-Watan, means means the palace of the nation, kind of signifying the fact that it is open. It is a palace for everybody, not just for the rulers, but also for the general people. So let's go inside and see what kind of wonders it holds within it. Let's go check it out. All right, guys. Well, we're walking into Qasr al-Watan. As you can see, no expanse was spared here. The grandiose structures are all around you, of the most highest quality building materials. Here's the gigantic door leading into it. As you can see on the top right there, there's a crest of UAE, an eagle, or sorry, I think a falcon actually. And there's same crest but in a bigger scale. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. Oh my God. Damn, this is nice. Oh, look at this. Would you look at this? Wow. This is magnificent. Look at the design of the ceiling. Wow. It is a very, very classic Arabic style. And look at this chandelier and the dome. Wow. You know, walking into here, you feel more like a you feel more like it's some kind of cathedral in the middle of Spain or Italy, but it's not. This is the palace, place of power. You know, I'll have to look up to see what kind of political dignitaries came here, but I can assure you most of the names you hear on the news have been to this place. Wow. This is awe-inspiring. Oh my God, look at the main dome. Wow. Check this out, guys. Look at this. Wow. Oh my God. You know, you get this feeling of space here. It's just such a large space. Just huge. Just the dimensions of this place is awe-inspiring. Wow. And the floor, let's not neglect the floor. It's also beautifully decorated with different mineral stones and wow. As you can see, there's other chambers there, and we'll go visit some of them, but these beautiful golden doors. Wow. Huh. Let's go right in the center here. Wow. Guys, well, I'm so happy we decided to stop by here. It's my fourth time in Abu Dhabi. This is the first time I've been to this palace. So I'm experiencing this with you at the same time. And, you know, looking up here, I'm not sure if that is daylight coming through. I think it might be, but I'm not sure. But it looks like it, doesn't it? Wow. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Just breathtaking. Look at these arches. That's where we walked in. Wow. Let me give you a 360 view here. Wow. Yeah, even the floor is just so beautiful. Wow. You know, guys, when you see this, this is something that takes your breath away. But a thought that you should keep in the back of your mind is that literally all of this transpired within last 30 to 40 years. You know, Abu Dhabi and the rest of the Emirates were not an oil and gas rich country until sort of the late 70s, early 80s, when the oil was seriously struck and the development began. Until then, really, the main industry was pearl hunting. So guys would dive in the sea and find the pearls and sort of transport it to all other places in the world. But there was no large oil boom. People were still living in the desert. People were still living in the 1-2-story buildings here in Abu Dhabi. It was a developing nation right in the beginning of the development. And when the oil and gas came, when the nation discovered just how much oil reserves there are, these things happened. So this palace right now, it's 2022. It is, let's see, it's 5 years old, right? So this is how quickly the UAE is developing, growing, enriching itself, you know, progressing the beauty of architecture, creating business hubs, and attracting, you know, art and performances from all over the world. You know, if you told somebody in the 1960s, go to Abu Dhabi for a week vacation, I can assure you, most people would kind of look with you with wide eyes and be like, why? But this is the power of smart governments. You know, there's so much resources out there in the world, but when the nations find them, more often than not, the ruling elites sort of, you know, mismanages it, and people never see the benefits of the money that the country's making. But here, as you can see a real example of the government that is giving back. So from all the riches that were gathered from oil and gas, the money's being invested into the future generation. The money's invested into beautiful architectural projects like this to attract tourism, to attract world leaders, and put Abu Dhabi and the rest of UAE on the map. And it is already on the map predominantly, very extensively. So it's just an incredible witness. This building is an incredible witness to the power of good governance and what benefits you can have if you just you know, care about your nation and invest into it and don't appropriate the funds for yourself. So I love this. All right, guys, but let's continue our tour. Let's see, there's a bunch of other rooms in this palace, so I'm excited to see them and to see them together with you, because it's a first time I'm here, so I'm just as amazed as some of you might be looking at this. All right, so now we keep on marching on. Wow. Oh man. Oh my goodness, look at that. All right, guys, so we just walked into the meeting room here. And right there, right in the center, as you can see, there's 7 chairs. There's 7 chairs. So that's, of course, for the 7 leaders of the 7 different Emiratis in the UAE. And of course, in the background, you can see the portrait of Sheikh Zayed, the founding father of this beautiful nation, one of the founding fathers of this beautiful nation. And then around it, all these chairs will be sort of the different ministers from different Emirati regions, and they would be sort of listening and giving their input. But this is where it happens. This is where the UAE leaders and the powerful meet and decide the future of UAE. What a beautiful, beautiful room. Wow, look at the ceilings and just the lights and the ornaments. It's So cool. Wow. Alright guys, well it's time to depart the meeting room, which is so cool because, like, you know, this is where the decisions get made. This is where the fate of the people of UAE gets decided by its leaders. That's where they meet. That's where the ministers meet as well. So that was fantastic to see. Now we're gonna go into one of the wings of the palace. We're going into the right wing. If you're looking sort of from the straight into the palace, that will be the right wing, which I believe is where the library is located. And there's some fascinating religious artifacts there. There's Quran and Bible copies present there, as many as many other priceless manuscripts. So hopefully we get to see some of them. I'm not sure. Yeah, it says here, House of Knowledge, a memory from the palace. Yeah, the House of Knowledge. We're about to visit the House of Knowledge. Here we are, walking into the East Wing, also known as the House of Knowledge. Look at this. This is so cool. Wow. Oh, look, and that is fantastic. You can walk inside there. Let's see if we can get in line. Get a video as well. But I'll show you the ceiling in the meantime. Wow. You know, every square inch of this building is quite nicely decorated. Okay. Alright guys, so we're gonna walk inside this beautiful structure, and I just want to tell you what it says. So, wow, look at this. This is neat. What it says is that wealth is not oil and money. Wealth lays in the people, and it is useless if it's not used to serve them. So that's the message. Wow. It's so cool to be inside of this installation. So there you guys go. Some wise words. Some wise words. So there you guys go. Some wise words from the wise leaders of this beautiful, beautiful nation. You know, and it sort of rings true to how this nation is operated. You know, there's a lot of wealth, but a lot of it is invested into the people, into the Emiratis themselves. You know, interesting thing, the population of United Arab Emirates is only, you know, the population of the ethnic Emiratis is almost something like 20% of the people you would see here if you're here. But the 20%, the ethnic Emiratis that have the citizenship, they have a really good life. So, you know, you have job security, there's benefits, there's healthcare, education that the government provides for you. And as a result, this is one of the most literate places in the world. It is one of the safest ones. And the people enjoy an incredible standard of living. So what it says right here behind me on this installation is true. The wealth that gets here, it's not just stored away, it's not just wasted away, but it's actually actively used to help the Emiratis. And that's awesome. Thumbs up. All right, so now continuing, and here we can see Qasr Al Watan Library. Oh, this is neat. Look at that. Huh. Interesting books. course, you can see Quran and other Islamic religious writings, but also a lot of other stuff. Wow. Oh, nice. The classic long letters to get to the books. Interesting. Very interesting. As you can see, there's everything. There's books on defense of different years, ruling families of Arabia, U.S. records on Saudi affairs, annual records of the Gulf, Arabian geopolitics, so a lot of sort of encyclopedias and detailed reports on this place in the world. Really neat. Okay, let's see what's in that shelf. Quite curious, actually. See, but there's all sorts of books. Phoenix Rising. Oh, let's see. United Arab Emirates. There's books on history and people and all sorts of things related to this beautiful Gulf state. Cool. Very cool. Let's see. And some of the more important books are displayed here. So this is the old description of the old Arabia. If you've seen Lawrence of Arabia, you will sort of be familiar with scenes like that. Let's see. Is there anything on this side? Oh yeah, look at that. Perhaps somebody can translate that. Oh. This is this work describes and illustrates a tour to Egypt. Includes illustration and maps. The text is in German and French. This is, of course, the picture of Saudi Arabia, the Mecca right there, and again Mecca right there. This is from 1930s and 40s. So again, that place has changed quite a bit. So here we're about to go into the House of Knowledge, the era of enlightenment. So everybody knows about Renaissance and sort of the birthplace of the Italian Renaissance and towns like Firenze and Venice and Rome. But actually before that, the Renaissance and Enlightenment started here in Arabia. And this is where some of the ancient ideas were reintroduced, like ancient Greek ideologies and philosophies were actually published here in Arabia. Arabia became sort of the source of knowledge, and this all happened in between 8th and 13th century, so before Renaissance. And countries like, like Iran and Gulf regions and the different Stan countries like Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, they were the powerhouses of new knowledge. So this room is dedicated to literature and manuscripts that period produced. So here we are, the land of connection. And of course, you have to remember that this was a part of the Silk Route, right? So everything was connected. You have trade going all the way from the coast of Africa to the Arab world, to India, to China. And so the flow of ideas and knowledge was extensive. See, here's the book on medicine from 1593 AD. This is a manuscript on, let's see, first and only edition from the second book of Ibn Sada, the Canon on Medicine. So these are the originals. How cool is it to see them here? Again, more on medicine. And here we can find some of the artifacts about surgery. So this dates back all the way to 10th century, and these books are written by Abu al-Qasim al-Zahrawi. he was working a lot in the Spanish city of Cordoba, which at the time was still under caliphate. And he is actually credited for creation of a lot of medical tools still used in surgeries today. So he's sort of described by some as a father of surgery science. And this is, you know, the original manuscripts that he has written. As you can see, it's written in Latin, but the writer himself was Arabic, this man right here. You can see more manuscripts from the ancient doctors. See, these ones are written in Arabic. This is from 10th century. This is an encyclopedia on scientific tradition. So they would help doctors around the world learn how to save people 1,000 years ago. And this came from the Islamic scholars. See, these are the tools that I'm talking about, some 1,000 years ago by the Arabic scholars. And they're still helping people today. Now we're in this exhibit here that talks about the political and philosophy side of Renaissance here in Arabia. And just to give you a little bit of background, so, you know, you had this gigantic progression of philosophy and political wisdom come out of Greece, out of Rome in the BC times. But then sort of the Dark Ages came, and a lot of that was forgotten. Original texts were burned. You know, there was a gigantic library in Alexandria that burned down, so a lot of texts were disappearing. And there was a real danger that, you know, of Plato and Socrates, all these discourses would be lost. And so actually, it was the Arabs at the time that saved a lot of that knowledge. They would take the original copies in Greek and whatnot, and they would translate them into Arabic. And so actually it is pretty common in today's world where a lot of these, you know, common known books that you know, that we know from philosophers and scientists, they were actually now translated from Arabic, because that's the only source text left, because the originals were lost through the ages. So if it wasn't for the Arabic scholars, a lot of this priceless knowledge from ancient Greece and other ancient civilizations would be lost. So we owe a lot to these ancient scribes and scholars, and here we are. So we're going to see some of the ancient early copies. Here we go. This is from 18th century, Life and Death of Saladin. This right here is the Lamp of Kings, the second volume of one of the most famous Arabic works on statecraft. This is from the 15th century. Here we actually have a very, very old and rare copy of the actual prints. This is published in London from 1640 AD. So this is one of the earliest prints of this magnificent book on statecraft from Niccolo Machiavelli. How cool is that? This is the book of consolation for the ruler faced with the enmity of his subjects. This is from the 16th century. And here, lastly, we have Plutarch's Parallel Lives. This is a Spanish translation, and this is from 15th century. So it kind of talks about common moral virtues and failings. So this is basically like a series of 23 biographies of famous men, and it sort of tells about their virtues, but also their failings. So you can kind of learn about the great people, but learn not just the good, but the bad, so you don't make that mistake yourself. All right, guys, and here for the lovers of folklore and sort of the ancient traditions and tales, we have an exhibit on the Arabic Nights, which is one of the greatest compilations of Arabic folklore throughout history. So it's not written by any one author. It's basically, you know, common tales that were present at the throughout the hundreds of years here in Arabic Peninsula and other parts of the Arabic world. And so they've been compiled, and that compilation is called the Arabic Nights, or 1000 Nights and One Night. So let's see some of the original manuscripts. So this is some of the earlier prints. This one is from the 19th century. As you can see, this one is in English, and then this one is actually in Arabic. Look how beautifully illustrated this is. This is from 1835. Wow. And of course, one of the main additions to the world from the Golden Age here in the Islamic world, in the Arabic Peninsula and the surrounding areas, is of course the math and the science that the scholars achieved during that time. A lot of math, serious physics, is based on these original findings from the Golden Age here in the Islamic world. So we're gonna see some of the early mathematical and physical manuscripts that survived from that time. So there you go. Here is the on using the sign quadrant and other texts. So this is a 15th century compilation of 6 mathematical and astronomical treatises in Arabic. Here we have epistle of the use of observational instruments. So this would be used for observatories around the world. And this is book 1 of Twilight, which is a scientific work, and it sort of describes the atmosphere and why there's twilight and other unique things in nature and how they come to be. This is from, I think this is from the 16th century. Okay guys, so we're done with the meeting room, the House of Knowledge, and now, oh my God, by the way, let's look at this again. Really, like when you walk here, you know, there's this effect that makes you feel like there's a sunshine here. You know, this is a completely closed palace. There's no windows, but walking through here, it feels like, you know, there's daylight and sunshine, and it doesn't feel like there's too much gold. It actually flows so well together, and you get this very positive light sort of aura in here. Very cool place. Highly suggest you come here. Okay, but now we're going to the West Wing, and I think the West Wing is where the official government visits happen from the foreign travelers. But before we go there, there's this interesting hole. It's called Presidential Gifts. So I'm expecting we're gonna see some of the highest, some of the priceless artifacts that the leaders of other nations have given to the leaders of Abu Dhabi throughout decades. Okay, so here we go. Diplomatic gifts. This should actually be kind of cool. Let's see. Okay. So this is Egyptian vases, Japanese vase, Azerbaijan, glass, Republic of India, more Egypt. Oh, Phoenician vase. That's cool. This is ancient. So this is a 7,000-year-old Phoenician vase. How cool is that? This is found in Byblos, Lebanon. Wow, really neat. So here we have basically a collection of different vases. Some are from Portugal and Kazakhstan and Pakistan. A frame from Jordan. Algeria. That's a frame from Kazakhstan. Another frame from Kazakhstan. See, this kind of looks Scythian to me almost. That's kind of cool. some sophisticated stuff. Jewelry box from Morocco. So here we have a jewelry box from Morocco. And this right here is a Ukrainian amber. There's a bunch of amber in Ukraine, so pretty cool. That's a big boy. Here's a beautiful carpet that is from Turkmenistan, of course, that is famous for its carpets. Look at that. Wow. Here we have some elephants from Zimbabwe and caribou from Philippines. Elephants, horses. This is another gift from Ukraine. Sort of, this is a Cossack. You know, they were kind of known for their unique hairstyle, at least the Ukrainian Cossacks were. And they were very much in use of the horses. So there you go, that's probably why. There's another one here. Looks like, yeah, Kyrgyz, of course. Highly dependent on horses, so that's why. Just beautiful. And here's a fine collection of weaponry. And a lot of it comes from Gulf states like Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. Some are Polish. For example, this one is Polish. This one is from Kazakhstan. Beautiful shield here. Let's see, this one is from, oh, this is from Kazakhstan. Oh, this is from Kazakhstan. Nice. This is a Russian sword right here. Also very beautiful. Wow. Here's some accessories to do with falcon hunting. Of course, falcon hunting is very popular in the Gulf states. It's a very famous leisure time for the leaders of the nation. So there's all these gifts, and let's see. This is from Kuwait. This is from France. Look how beautiful that is. Made out of crystal. And then this is also from France. A sculpture of falcon. Wow, look at that. That is fantastic. That is actually mesmerizing. And of course here we can see beautiful different Korans from different nations. It kind of starts with Pakistan, Sudan, Morocco, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, again Morocco, Jordan, Algeria, Morocco, and Syrian Arab Republic. Really cool. Look at these beautiful finishings on this Quran. Wow. Let's see, what do we have here? Crown of leaves, of course, from Greece. This is from Jordan. There you can see Petra, one of the old Roman structures still remaining in Jordan. Wow, look at that. Oh my, this is fantastic. Yeah, wow, this is fantastic. Look at this. This is from the government of Palestine. This is the outlay of Jerusalem, made out of seashells. You know, because it is a seashore nation, you know, you have these shells, but look how beautifully it looks. Wow, this is actually mesmerizing to look at. So this is from Palestinians and their view of the Jerusalem. Wow. And here lastly we have a beautiful row from different countries of their highest honorary medals. You know, there's some from Yemen and Great Britain and Ukraine and Turkmenistan. It's a lot to list all of them, but look at these beautiful dignitary medals here. Really neat. Wow. And here, we're just gonna take a quick glimpse. This is a presidential banquet. So here's where, you know, the noble guests would be entertained. The food would be laid out, and, you know, Emir of Abu Dhabi would give his speech, and the different dignitaries would do the same. Maybe that would be some kind of a cultural performance right there, but, you know, Emir would probably sit right there in the center, and then his guests would be around him, sort of thing. But, wow, really nice. All right, so I think we're getting to the end of this wing. This is kind of a unique ceiling. Check this out. Oh, this is cool. Oh. And I think this is where our tour basically ends. No, this is not where it ends, actually. The gentleman just motioned that there's another room, so let's go see what's inside there. Hello.
Hello, sir. Welcome, sir.
What is inside there?
Okay, this is the summit room.
Summit room.
For the GCC meetings.
Oh, I see, okay. All right, so we're just walking into the summit room. Oh, wow, look at that. Based. Look at this, guys. So, you know, if you have a bunch of dignitaries, bunch of presidents coming, this is where everybody would take their place. You see there's a little poles for the flags. And then right here it would say which nation it is. And you could have a international summit right here. Oh, look at this. This is a recording of Sheikh Zayed speaking. That's Sheikh Zayed right there. Wow, this is so cool. Who knows what important decisions were made here. That's so neat. Wow, look at that. All right, well, with this, our tour is basically over. We've seen the outside of this beautiful palace. We've seen the inside halls. Went to the knowledge wing, the east wing. Went to the official wing where we just came out of right here. Saw some presidential gifts, some amazing manuscripts. Fantastic architecture, that's for sure. And we also saw where the decisions got made, where the powerful of this world meet for summits, and where the Emirati government has their meetings. So I'm really happy you joined me here. Definitely visit this. It's not expensive. It's something like, I don't know, $20–25. So well worth it. But it's a mesmerizing piece of art. And so yeah, check it out if you can. I'll see you later.